2 episodes after that explosive 4th episode, I thought the inevitable battle in Shogun would start either in episode 5 or 6, but it looks like the FX series is taking things slow while introducing us to the intricate world of its characters, and I couldn't be more pleased. Every episode I feel like I am back to the first seasons of Game of Thrones, where we would watch incredible schemes and plans being put into place. Episode 6 was no different, especially with its focus on 3 female characters, Mariko, Lady Ochiba, and Kiku. So many unexpected things happen in this episode, and it's time to talk about them. Let's discuss episode 6, Ladies of the Willow World. I should start with the title of the episode. In Japanese art, the willow is considered a female tree because of its slenderness and agility. So the willow refers to the courtesan, and the willow world refers to the area where the traditional establishments of courtesans are located, such as the tea house the brothel owner couldn't stop praising. Even though it's called a tea house and tea is indeed served in it, a tea house was not just a tea house. It was a place where a courtesan entertained her guests with performances. And these guests could not be any random man. They usually belonged to higher echelons of society. So John being sent there by someone like Toranaga made a lot of sense. Let's continue with the main plot of the episode. It looks like the dinner in episode 5 had much more different effects than the audience might have anticipated. I, for one, did not expect things to go to Toranaga. We saw Buntaro apologizing for the distress he caused at Blackthorn's house, and it seemed to me that Toranaga was definitely picking up on Mariko and John's complicated relationship. He even suggested Buntaro to divorce Mariko, but Buntaro was adamant not to. He used all the years they spent together as an excuse, but I got the impression that he was in love with Mariko. Describing her as ice, as someone who wants to die, made it seem like Buntaro expected more from Mariko but was never able to get it. And his reaction in episode 5's dinner scene was not only about John's disrespect, it was about how different Mariko behaved when she was near John. Buntaro noticed that and might have probably felt jealous. As for Mariko and John, they definitely spent an interesting night at the tea house. And Kiku proved that she's smarter and more intuitive than anyone gives her credit for. She was able to understand the reason for the tension between the two, and the scene where she used Mariko as a conduit was especially spectacular. For the first time, we saw Mariko using the first-person pronoun to translate for John.
I offer you relief from this. And safety.
In many scenes, we kept seeing her translate words to John in the third-person pronoun, but with Kiku's well-played setting up, Mariko translated Kiku's sentences as if she was the one telling them. It was a very intense moment. Later, when Kiku and John left to go in a private room, Mariko didn't join them and we didn't see what happened during the night. John did seem tired, so something must have happened. So far, Kiku has been shown as a woman who wraps man around her finger. In one memorable scene, she enticed Yabushige, although I have to admit it shouldn't be that hard to convince Yabushige of anything. In the other episodes, we saw her with Omi, who was not happy with Toranaga arranging a night with Kiku for John. Omi showcases a growing hatred for John, and Nagakado has been hanging out with him too much. I kind of fear that these two have plans to move against John. One of them is smart and has a lingering distaste towards the man, and the other is as reckless as one can be. If they attempted to kill John or plot against him in any other way, I wouldn't be surprised. The other lady, perhaps the star of the last 2 episodes, was Lady Ochiba, whose childhood story surprised many of us. I certainly did not expect her to be friends with Mariko, so it turns out in the series that Mariko's father Akechi was serving as a general under Ochiba's father Kuroda. Throughout the years, Kuroda's violence was not appreciated by Akechi. He perhaps saw it as unnecessarily cruel. One scene showed him trying to attack Kuroda, but another man stopped him. The man who stopped him must have been Toranaga, as he resembled older Toranaga a lot. He said, but later Akechi killed Kuroda, although we don't know the details. Lady Ochiba's words at the end of the episode seem to imply that it was Toranaga's plan to kill Kuroda, but it was Akechi who took the blame. The scene that we saw with younger Toranaga telling Akechi now is not the time implies the same in my opinion. Akechi did not act on his own but was rather supported by Toranaga, who might have later betrayed him by letting him take the blame alone. We don't know for sure. But it definitely explains the reasons why Ochiba has been harboring this hatred and feelings of vengeance towards Toranaga. It also shows us that Toranaga is not that much of a good guy, even though he's the one we're all rooting for. I'm kidding, I'm rooting for Yabushige and I want him to rewrite his will every episode, but you get my point. Even the scene where Toranaga told Mariko about her father's real plans appeared to me like Toranaga was planning to use Mariko. He did learn that Mariko wanted to die, so he made a move to fuel Mariko to support him in the war. Mariko is invaluable to Toranaga right now, especially as a translator for Blackthorn. It's only normal Toranaga doesn't want to lose her, even if it means feeding her information no one really knows if it's true. Did Akechi really marry Mariko off to Buntaro so that she would be away from all the fight? It is likely because the man seemed to love his daughter, but it also did serve Toranaga's purpose to keep Mariko alive and well. All in all, episode 6 showed how powerful Ochiba really is as she was holding everyone in her grip. Whatever she says goes. Keeping the regents as well as their families hostage in the Osaka castle was a smart move as it forced them to vote for Toranaga's replacement. Sugiyama made an unexpected move and voted against Lord Ito and got killed as a result. I'm not sure if Ochiba is actually acting with the best moves possible, as even Taiko's elder wife warned her. She appears to be fueled by hatred towards Toranaga. Would there be an alternative path, or will she be a victim of Crimson Sky? Overall, I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I did the previous ones, and that's only because the show keeps getting better and better. Crimson Sky is the title of episode 9, which means the attack will probably take place there. So we have at least 2 episodes of preparation for the upcoming major battle and perhaps more backstory in the meantime. I would certainly like to know Toranaga's involvement in Kuroda's killing. What did you think of this episode? Don't forget to tell me in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. See you soon!